Shedeur Sanders takes final blow as Myles Garrett and other Browns veterans want another starting quarterback. The Cleveland Browns quarterback competition heading into the 2025 NFL season has grown increasingly decisive, and it appears Shedeur Sanders is on the outside looking in as his chances of landing his starting spot dwindle. Despite initial buzz surrounding the rookie and son of NFL legend Deion Sanders, the tide in Cleveland's locker room has shifted in favor of a more familiar face ahead of Week 1's game with the Cincinnati Bengals. According to reporting from Cleveland.com's Mary Kay Cabot, veteran players within the organization, including their all-pro defensive end Myles Garrett, have made their preferences clear. They want Joe Flacco. This is indicating a strong internal consensus forming around the 39-year-old quarterback who joined on a one-year deal alongside Kenny Pickett, Sanders, and Dillon Gabriel to form a packed QB room in Deshaun Watson's absence. Flacco previously impressed in Cleveland in the 2023/24 NFL season when Watson was injured, earning a 4-1 record in 5 starts and passing for 16 yards and 13 touchdowns with a passing accuracy of 60.3% from 204 attempts. That led the Browns to an NFL playoff berth, and although they lost their AFC wildcard game against the Houston Texans, the veteran still passed for 307 yards and a touchdown on the night. He did throw 2 pick sixes and was sacked 4 times, however, but his performance over that stint was enough to win him the NFL Comeback Player of the Year honors and evidently substantial respect within the locker room. It's between Pickett and Joe Flacco for the starting job, Cabot told 92.3 The Fan, adding that Flacco's understanding of head coach Kevin Stefanski's system provides him with the head start. That familiarity with the offensive scheme, combined with his leadership and postseason experience, appears to have tipped the scales decisively in his favor against his other experienced colleague. Sanders aims to fight back in Cleveland. Meanwhile, Sanders finds himself deep on the depth chart, despite arriving in the league with significant fanfare after his slump in the 2025 NFL Draft, being picked 144th overall, despite a projection as a first-rounder. Despite this draft day disappointment, the 23-year-old has not lacked effort and has even enlisted the help of private quarterback coach Darryl Colbert Jr., who is founder of Select QB Athletics and a longtime family friend. Sanders has been working out in Miami during the offseason, hoping to defy expectations and climb the Browns' quarterback depth chart, but the reality remains harsh. At the Huntington Bank Field, at Cleveland's mandatory minicamp in June, Sanders was listed as the 4th-string quarterback behind Flacco, Pickett, and Gabriel. It's a dramatic fall from the lofty expectations once placed on him during his time at Colorado, where he threw for 64 yards. 64 touchdowns, and just 13 interceptions over 2 seasons. It was supposed to be a new era. When the Cleveland Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders, the city buzzed with cautious hope. His name came with weight, not just because he was the son of Deion Primetime Sanders, but because he had earned it. Calm in chaos, lethal from the pocket, and mature beyond his years, Shedeur looked the part of a future franchise QB. But Cleveland is no stranger to quarterback drama, and by mid-camp, the honeymoon was already over. On a cloud-covered morning in Berea, the final blow was dealt, not by a headline, not by a fumbled snap, but by the quiet authority of the Browns' locker room and the voice of its alpha, Myles Garrett. Suddenly, the tension boils over had been building for weeks. Veterans grumbled about tempo during 7-on-7s. Subtle eye rolls followed mistimed throws. Receivers quietly lobbied for better rhythm. Whispers turned to murmurs. And finally, during a closed-door leadership meeting after a lackluster joint practice with the Steelers, the voices got louder. Myles Garrett stood up. The room quieted. "I like the kid," he said, arms folded across his chest. "But we're not here to babysit a quarterback. We're here to win." Other veterans nodded. Joel Bitonio, Amari Cooper, even new additions like linebacker Jordan Hicks added their voices. The message was clear. They wanted a change. Not because Shedeur lacked talent, he didn't, but because the team, especially the defense, couldn't wait on his timeline. They believed the Browns were built to contend now, and now didn't have time for a learning curve on the center. The coach's dilemma, Kevin Stefanski had seen it before. A young QB with the tools, the pedigree, the promise. but also the pressure. Shedeur was still adjusting to NFL speed, processing new defenses, and navigating the weight of being both a Sanders and a savior. Stefanski liked Shedeur. He believed in his future. But his job wasn't about the future anymore, not with Myles Garrett in his prime, not with a defense ranked top 5, not with fans demanding a playoff run, not potential. The next day, Stefanski made it official. Shedeur Sanders would not be the Week 1 starter. It wasn't a demotion, it was a reality check. Locker room fallout. The announcement was met with mixed reactions. Some younger players looked stunned. They'd seen flashes from Shedeur that convinced them he could grow into the role. Others, like Brissett or the newly signed veteran signal caller, rumored to be Ryan Tannehill, saw opportunity. But in the back corner of the locker room, Myles Garrett didn't gloat. He simply nodded once, laced his cleats, and went to work. To him, this wasn't personal. This was business. And Shedeur? He took it with a straight face. No social media posts, no passive-aggressive pressers, just a short, direct comment to the reporters swarming outside the facility. I came here to work. That doesn't stop because I'm not starting. My job is to be ready when my name is called. Then he walked off the podium and back to the film room. The burden of the name being Shedeur Sanders was never going to be easy. His last name invites spotlight. His father, Dion, had turned Colorado into a media circus. Now Shedeur was in Cleveland, a blue-collar city that doesn't care much for fame unless it results in W's. He wasn't flashy in camp, but that didn't matter. He was still treated like a celebrity, and while fans wanted to believe, the locker room wanted results. NFL locker rooms are meritocracies. You don't get points for Instagram followers or college highlights. You earn your place through performance, leadership, and trust. And for now, Shedeur was still building that trust. The long road ahead. The blow felt heavy, and it was. No rookie wants to hear the veterans don't believe in him, yet, especially not from someone like Myles Garrett, whose word in that locker room is as sacred as Sunday film. But perhaps this was the best thing for Shedeur Sanders. No coddling, no illusions, just clarity. The NFL isn't about what you did last season, it's about what you're doing this week. And while he wouldn't start Week 1, Shedeur now had something far more valuable than press hype. A reason to wake up early, a reason to stay after practice, a reason to study film like his job depended on it, because now it truly did. Epilogue, one snap away. In this league, you're always one snap away. Injury, inconsistency, a cold streak. It doesn't take much for the quarterback carousel to spin again. And when it does, the Browns will look to the sideline. If Shedeur is ready, truly ready, that's when the locker room will listen. Not to his name, not to his background, but to the voice in the huddle and the fire in his play. Because talent opens doors. But toughness, timing, and trust, that's what keeps you on the field.